The British Council works in skills because we have a very important commitment to supporting the advancement of education, and skills and vocational education and training is a very important part of education systems and the education sector. We also as an organisation are committed to building up a friendly knowledge and understanding between the UK and the countries where we work. And we do that through many ways, but one way is through our work in education. We do quite a range of activities, and they're very much driven by the strengths and priorities and challenges that are faced both in the UK skills sector and also the countries that we're working in. At the moment, there is really a growing movement, a growing skills movement, and a growing interest in skills development and in vocational education and training. If you go back to 2000 and look at the Millennium Development Goals, there was no mention of vocational education and training. If you now look at the new Sustainable Development Goals, there are 3 specific targets for vocational education and training, and many of the other targets are very strongly linked to skills development. This is partly because we're seeing high unemployment figures in many countries. We're seeing high numbers of young people who are unemployed or at risk of unemployment or in poor quality jobs. We're seeing instability in many countries. And we're also seeing increasing globalization, increasing mobility of people. So all of those factors, it's really having quite a big impact. And I think for that reason, that's why there's this increased focus on vocational education and training from many governments and international organisations around the world. And we have to respond to that as the British Council because of our commitment to education. We tend to focus our activities in 4 main areas. One is in terms of influencing policy, practice and people. And that's very much about looking at sharing good practice, looking at how we can, for example, how we can reform an education system, what policies do you need to have in place, can we learn from other countries and other systems, can we debate and discuss and look at different views, different perceptions. The second area is encouraging mobility and exchange, and I would say that area is really at the heart of the British Council's work in everything that we do. And that could be exchange and mobility of young people, of teachers, of policymakers, of leaders of education institutions. And that exchange really supports not just our cultural relations mission, building the friendly knowledge and understanding between people and between countries, but it also supports us building lasting and sustainable partnerships. And also it supports our policy work so that we'll be exchanging knowledge and ideas. The third area is around building partnerships. So we bring organisations together from the UK with their counterparts in many countries around the world. So for example, it could be a vocational college with a sector body or a body which offers qualifications, and they would work with counterparts in another country on an innovation project, so looking to develop new approaches, new methodologies in skills development. And we would always link that with a policy level so we can try and use these projects as demonstration projects. And I think that's what could be quite exciting about them. So we're always trying to look at how to maximise the impact of what we do through our work. And very much linked to partnerships, the 4th area of our activity is building capacity. And this could be capacity of teachers, of practitioners, of institutional leaders, and also of policymakers. We build capacity through learning by doing activities, through showcasing different approaches through things like actually exchanges and partnership projects, but often through things like seminars, conferences and workshops. So very sort of practical, to share experience, not to tell people how to do things, but to use the wealth of experience and expertise in the UK, our understanding of what works and maybe what doesn't work, and then to work through that with the different organisations, the different individuals that we're working with, to get their views and to see what might work in different contexts. But building capacity, I think, is probably something that cuts across all of our activity.